Hello and welcome to Immigration with Andrew. In this video, we are going to delve a little bit more deeply into the specific requirements for DACA eligibility. Great, so in no particular order, one of the requirements for DACA, for an initial application, is to show continuous residence since June 15th of 2007. The agency does not require proof that the applicant was here every single day of every single month of every single year, but they do want to see something from every few months. So an easy way to meet this requirement would be to include bank statements with activity. Bank statements without activity don't help. Another easy way to meet it is with pay stubs. Pay stubs show the date, the amount earned, the name. That's great. If the person was in school at all since June of 2007, and school transcripts can be a good way to meet that requirement. But the key takeaway there is they don't necessarily need to see something from every day of every week of every month of every year from 2007 until now, but something from every couple of months is the best. And so it's going to be a lot of paper. Next, the criminal requirement. So any felony on the record, regardless of the type of felony, regardless of the sentence imposed or served, makes somebody ineligible for DACA. Likewise, what the immigration agency calls a significant misdemeanor is also going to make somebody ineligible for DACA. So a significant misdemeanor they define as any burglary crime, any domestic violence crime, any firearm crime, sex abuse, sexual exploitation crimes, driving under the influence of alcohol, and then drug distribution and drug trafficking, not drug possession. And so those are the specific crimes they designate as significant misdemeanors, but also any misdemeanor where the person was sentenced to confinement of more than 90 days will also be considered a significant misdemeanor and make the person ineligible for DACA. And so any misdemeanor that does not meet those definitions will not be a significant misdemeanor, obviously. The important point there, minor traffic offenses don't count as significant misdemeanors. They don't count as non-significant misdemeanors. And so the last bar to DACA with respect to criminal history, the person cannot have 3 or more non-significant misdemeanors. And so minor traffic infractions don't count. So for example, somebody could have 5 tickets or 5 cases for driving without a license, and that will not make the person ineligible. It is not a felony, obviously. It is not a significant misdemeanor, and is not a non-significant misdemeanor that would count towards the 3. Next, the education requirement. The person either has to have a GED or a diploma, or be in school, or have been honorably discharged from the military. So in school, a person could be in school for a GED and still be eligible. In other words, if the person did not graduate from high school, they're now over the age of 18 or 19, and the person wants to get a GED, that person does not have to wait until they have the GED in order to be eligible, in order to apply. And another important aspect of DACA is advanced parole. Advanced parole is not a visa, it is not a guarantee, but if the person has an advanced parole document, the person will be allowed to present themselves for inspection at the border if they leave the United States and try to return. And so specifically for DACA holders, the advanced parole they will give for one of 3 reasons. They will give it if there's an employment reason or a work reason. And so the example I sometimes use is somebody needs to attend a conference in a foreign country as part of their job. That will be a good basis for advanced parole. Education, similar, they're in school and their course of study requires them, or they have the option to attend some activity outside the United States. So if there's a basis pertaining to education, then that could be a basis for a grant of advanced parole. But the last one is the most common one. Any humanitarian reason will be a basis for advanced parole. So the common one there is to visit a sick relative. By definition, these dreamers have not been to their home country in many, many years. And so if that person has a sick family member, that can be a basis to get advanced parole. And so the name of the game is going to be proving it. So if it's a work conference, a letter from the employer, proof of the conference, proof that the conference exists. If it's a sick relative that they want to visit, well, proof that it's really the relative, so that means birth certificates to establish the relationship, and then proof that the relative is sick. That can be medical records, or it could be just a letter or letters from the doctors or from the medical staff there.